On a quiet, warm summer day in a sunny meadow, a mother duck sat patiently on her nest. One by one, the eggs began to crack, and out popped several fluffy yellow ducklings, crying, "Peep, peep!" The mother was overjoyed, but one egg, much larger than the rest, remained. After a long wait, it finally hatched. Out tumbled a strange, large creature with dull gray feathers and a clumsy walk. "He is so big and ugly," the mother sighed, though she tried to love him just the same. When the duck family waddled down to the barnyard, the poor gray duckling was met with immediate scorn. "Look at him." "How dreadful!" clucked the hens. "Go away, you monster," shouted his own brothers and sisters. Even the mother duck, weary of the constant ridicule, began to wish he had never been born. The poor duckling was pecked, pushed, and made fun of by every creature on the farm. He was so unhappy and ashamed of his appearance that he finally decided he could no longer stand the abuse. Part 2. The flight in the winter. One night, the ugly duckling flew away, escaping the harshness of the barnyard. He wandered through the fields and marshes, seeking a place where he might be welcomed. He came across wild ducks, but they, too, told him he was too ugly to join them. He found an old woman's hut and stayed there briefly with a cat and a hen, but they demanded he lay eggs and purr, things a duckling could not do. Feeling useless, he left once more. As autumn arrived, the leaves fell and the winds turned cold. The duckling was terribly lonely. One evening, he saw a sight that took his breath away. A flock of majestic, snow-white birds with long, graceful necks. Flying south, they were swans. He was utterly captivated by their beauty. He stretched his own neck toward them, wishing he could be just as magnificent, but his heart sank as he remembered his dull gray feathers. Winter came, harsh and freezing. The duckling had to keep swimming constantly to keep a small hole in the ice open. But one night he became trapped. A kind farmer found him frozen in the ice, broke him free, and took him home to his cottage, saving his life. Part 3. The Discovery. The duckling survived the winter in the farmer's care, and when spring finally returned, the farmer let him go free near a large pond. The bird was delighted to stretch his wings and swim again. As he glided across the water, he saw a group of those beautiful, snow-white swans approaching. He was afraid they would mock him, so he bent his head low, preparing for the inevitable rejection. But as he bowed his head, he saw his reflection in the perfectly still water. He was no longer a big, clumsy, gray bird. His feathers were bright, smooth, and snowy white, and his neck was long and elegant. He had grown into a swan. The other swans circled him and welcomed him warmly. "You are one of us," they seemed to say. The young swan felt a joy he had never known. He realized that the reason he had looked so different from the other birds in the barnyard was not that he was ugly, but because he was a swan born in a duck's nest. He had been a beautiful swan all along, just waiting to discover his true self. From that day on, he swam proudly with his beautiful new family, having finally found acceptance and completed his journey of self-discovery. The moral of the story: